It kind of works out to your chance to talk on the radio about damn near anything. Let me give you the telephone numbers, because I'm not kidding. In Hillsborough, 990-WFLA, 990-WFLA. In Pinellas, 461-WFLA, 461-WFLA. The GTE Mobile Star Line, Mobile Net Star Line. God, what a mouthful. I mean, can't we just pay for these damn things instead of, trading and selling and everything, so we got to have these tongue-twisting phone number things? Oh, that would be 970 Star. That's the GTE MobileNet Star line, 970 Star. And the Delaware Savings toll-free line, 1-800-969-WFLA. There will be only one exception to anything goes, and that is computer talk. I do have a computer update. You do not. It is deadly for the poor souls out there who don't have computers. It's deadly for people who do have computers because, the stuff I was talking about last night is beyond even most of them. But just to very briefly bring you up to speed, and the only reason I'm doing this is you do not understand. This has dominated my life for over a week. I now know absolutely, positively, for sure what the problem is, and all I have to do is sift through about 140 programs to figure out which one of those it is. But it's even better than that. But that's the story, and so there. And also, speaking, you see, I have this dilemma. I was going to give you my email address tonight. Now, why was I going to give you my email address? I have two what do you call it? The worldwide thing there. Internet. Thank you, Flounder. I have two internet servers. It's a long story, okay? I'm relatively new to the internet, and when I bought this computer, it had some software on it, Mosaic in a box, that kind of directs you towards an internet server. And it's a very good server. It's a very good server, but I really hate their software, which is called the Navigator. I really dislike it. So I went out and I bought Netscape. But they also kind of direct you toward a server, and I really hate that server. The problem is, so I signed up with both. So the problem is that to get Netscape to work on Sprynet, it's possible, but it's not easy, and I just haven't had the time. With this other problem. I just haven't had the time, and the reason I want to keep the one that has the software that I don't like, that the software that I do like doesn't want to work on, is because I have this absolutely incredible internet email address. I mean, most people have, internet email addresses like glockenspiel7 at, a harryscom.net thing. But I have Lassiter at someplace. The problem is I don't exchange email with very many people. I go, one dude in Philadelphia and Ted Webb. And I think Teddy's finally starting to, the novelty is also starting to wear off on him. And I keep this account, cost me $20 a month, simply because of the email address. Because I don't use this server to go, surfing on the net or any of that kind of good stuff. It's just too cumbersome, and it's the graphics aren't as good as they are, and bang, and so I was sitting around this afternoon, and I thought, hey, give them your email address. Maybe not. Kind of depends on how you behave yourselves this evening, perchance. So that would be 990 WFLA in Hillsborough, and Pinellas 461 WFLA. To Kenneth City we go. Kenneth, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
I hate your guts. I think you speak, and I love you. But I'm glad you're back. Hey, listen.
Yeah?
We've been going around quite a bit, but...
Didn't have to tell everybody that, sir.
A while ago, you said something, and let's see if I can get not the exact quote, but it's not how well you do, but it's that you're
it's not as important that it's not as important that I succeed as it is that my friends fail.
Okay, and I knew something like that. It took me a long time to interpret it, and I'm in school now. Thank you very much. God Almighty helped me do it. But I've left my career of 20 years, and as I was sitting in my mass communications class, and I was thinking about that, and I told one of my instructors, he says, "What does that mean?" And I said, I kind of...
It's as clear it can be, and people are absolutely appalled when they hear it, and yet it's the way most people lead their lives.
And that's the way I interpret it, George, because the way that I've made my career in the last 20 years is that I've succeeded because other people have screwed up, and I've made my successful in their failures. So now maybe it's time for me to advance myself beyond that, and that's pretty much what I've done right now. And it's really working out good because I'm getting on good with all my instructors and all that stuff.
No, I'll never forget the first time I heard that. Actually, I heard it from Youll Rogers in Miami.
Really?
I'm not really sure where the quote comes from. It's not his originally either. But the first time I heard it, I was, of course, utterly appalled until I stopped to think about it and thought, well, Jesus, that is, that's the American way, to drag the other dude down or hope that the other dude stumbles and falls, as opposed to working for excellence ourselves in whatever the hell it is that we're pursuing.
Well,
and so I kind of adopted it, and I use the phrase frequently. When I got to Chicago, I went into my little computer, and I had a color printer back then, and I went into a word processor or some kind of a program and made up a fancy schmancy little sign with "It's not as important that you succeed it's not as important that I succeed as it is that you fail." Posted it on the wall over my desk at WLS, and people did everything but come and defecate on my desk. They were utterly appalled, and yet that's the way they lived their lives. They just, I guess, didn't like being reminded of it.
Well, what I used to call it I call it the first day foreman syndrome, because when I would get hired by paint contracting companies and waterproofing companies, things like that, I call it the first day foreman syndrome because I would be there no longer than a week, and the foreman that I went to work for was gone, and I'd replaced him. But I didn't really prove myself that much, in so much that he was screwed up so much that they had to get things fixed. And then I kind of applied it. I kind of thought, I really am literally making my success off of other people's failures. And you don't know how much that stuck with me, friend.
Well, also, don't pay too much attention to that professor of mass communications, remembering he's standing in front of a room of, maybe 30, 40 people at best. What the hell does he know about mass comm?
I just did that. And I related this story to them. And the instructor, Mrs. K, she said, that's really kind of profound. Because this is really like a basic communications type situation here. We're just going into school, and then that's really kind of something to think about. And I'm glad that you brought it up.
Okay. Hey, good luck.
It worked for me, buddy.
All right, dude.
I'll be listening.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Live from the Hurricane Center,
Oklahoma City,
Washington, Capitol Hill, local,
at Pinellas County Courthouse,
in Tampa,
in Largo,
in Tallahassee, 24 hours a day.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 10.
25 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Last night I protested about having to read this liner. Tonight I read it with relish. Lower your standards. Listen to Brian James weekdays 4 to 7 at 970 WFLA. What do you mean there isn't any God? I said no such thing. Let's do Jeff in Clearwater. Hi, Jeff. You're on the air at 970 WFLA. Yeah.
I'm glad you're back on the air, man.
So am I.
And I'm glad I'm not paying for this call.
Oh, Jesus. I do declare. Let's do Plant City. Hi, Plant. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
They're back, Bob.
Yes, they are.
Welcome back yourself.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Hey, I was going to talk about something else, but the guy that said about the not so how much you succeed as the other guy fails.
Mm-hmm. It's not as important that I succeed as it is that my friends fail.
Right. I think the maddest I ever heard you was when, toward the end of your before you got cut off there, was that some guy called about Youll Rogers sick, and I guess somebody had called, and you knew about it 3 hours ahead of time, and you wouldn't tell the people that he was sick.
Right. That was the accusation.
You put that up against you, and you went out of your mind for about 45 minutes.
Yes, I did.
And you said, "I hate you, caller. I hate you, caller."
Yes, I did.
Anyway, how is Neil?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him for years. Probably never will again as long as I live. It bothers me very, very much.
Why did that call bother you so much?
Because it was a blatant lie. Because it was somebody, apparently, possibly you or somebody like you, who for some reason doesn't have a life and likes to meddle in the lives of other people. Apparently you can't quite understand that people who talk on the radio are real live, honest-to-God human beings.
You can't live without knowing that he taught you everything you know, and you still don't know anything.
Oh, look, asshole, who told you that? I did.
Fibber. You're a liar. You held it against
No, you're an
people.
asshole. I'm going to hang up on you, sir, and I'm going to try it one more time. You wouldn't have known that had I not told you that. But you're just too stupid to even understand that, aren't you? Unbelievable. Get a life, little boy. Get a life. How you could possibly find any enjoyment whatsoever in playing whatever small role, and I suggest that you did play a role, how you could find any enjoyment whatsoever in playing a role in destroying a 10-year-long friendship and relationship is beyond me. What a pathetic life you must have, little boy. Sitting home, trying to dick with the guys on the radio. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. But, like I said, it is Friday. Anything goes. You can say whatever the hell you want. I just don't have to listen to it. But let me give you the telephone numbers. Hillsborough, 990-WFLA, 990-WFLA. Pinellas, 461-WFLA, 461-WFLA. The MobileNet Star line, 970-STAR. And, of course, my email address, Lassiter at Sprynet.com. Sprynet.com. Write it down because I probably will never, ever, ever repeat it again. Hillsborough, 990-WFLA. Pinellas, 461-WFLA. And we'll see what happens with the rest of this. Yeah, okay, he's there. He's ready. So let's do it.
$7:30. Good evening, Paul.
Oh, Moo in Clearwater. You shouldn't have hung up, darling. Going to go to you next. Gutless Wonder. Good sounds, good sounds. I like the music there, Swami. Doing good, man. Doing good. Got to suffer if you want to sing the blues, you know. I heard that someplace. Thought I'd just pass it along to you. 7:31, almost 7:32, about 28 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock is what it really works out to. Let's do Dan and Lutz. Hi, Lutz. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Bob, after those last two calls, I can understand why you might be a little apprehensive about going to Lutz now. So.
Why? Neither of those are from Lutz.
Well, no, but I know how you feel about Lutz. So I'm just sitting here thinking, well, I moved here, that's not my fault.
Well, I don't. Lutz just has a bad, name. Any place that looks like it ought to be, first of all, of course, as you well know, pronounced Lutz.
Yeah.
No, it's a fine place.
Well, I like to think so. But I was curious, when mad cow disease hit on the airwaves, about a week and a half ago?
Yes.
I was immediately struck with...
You should have seen the look on my wife's face the morning I told her about mad cow disease, because I had seen something. I'd gotten extraordinarily early that day, and the paper was late, so I was sitting in the living room just kind of flipping through the television, and I came upon it on CNN, and I told my wife about it that morning. She thought I was kidding her.
She looked at you like you were crazy.
Exactly.
Mad cow disease. Right.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I
what I was saying was, wouldn't there be, I mean, I know you like to look at futures and options in this type of trading, and just maybe even hypothetically, what would have been the smart moves to make? You knew the prices of English beef was going to plummet, and then you figure the next step is who's going to supply England with their beef. That price of that, wherever that's going to come from, is going to skyrocket. And I don't have the financial wherewithal to play the market like some other radio talk show hosts, not other, but some radio talk show hosts that I might listen to might do. And I was just kind of curious, what might have been the smart move to make in that?
I would have never, I never, ever trade on rumors or what is really called fundamental information, the fundamentals, which is news, rumors, supply figures, reports, ta-da. I only trade on technical indicators measuring the strength or weakness of a market. I would have had no effect on me whatsoever. And besides that, I don't think I've ever made a trade in cattle. There are just too many factors, too many elements. News like that could have a very short, devastating, breathtaking move in a market, but the real market will take over again very shortly, and it will whipsaw right back to wherever the hell it came from with such blinding speed that if you're not on the floor and if you're not paying attention, you probably would end up actually losing, even if you were correct in the direction at first. You'll probably still end up losing.
That's a good point.
Never trade on news.
I was thinking there might be about a week's worth of lag time in there where short selling might do.
Oh, there's a week, think about maybe a day or two. Because then the real market professionals, the people who really know cows, and that's who really trades that market. It's not guys like you and me sitting home trying to guess. It's people who really are in the cow business. They know how many cattle are on the feedlots. They know what the supply-demand situation is, how beef is moving at the supermarket, what the situation is in the trucking industry in terms of moving product. That all this stuff is factored in, and you and I might move the market momentarily, but they'll come right back and kill us. So you never trade on news.
Well, I had heard that, but I still thought that the news started out small and it became, the mighty roar that it was. Now everybody knows about it, and I thought there might have been an opportunity there over a several-day period.
The cattle market is not, live cattle or feeder cattle. As a general rule of thumb, have never attracted me. They're not overly exciting markets. They do tend to trend, though, if you're a trend-following type person, and they're rather seasonal. But I don't really pay much attention to them. I trade almost exclusively in the indexes. The stock indexes, just because after all these years it suddenly dawned on me I cannot stay on top of 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 markets. I can't stay on top of 5.
Well, then let me ask you this. Was that what created your very good day the other day? Was it last Wednesday or whatever?
Yeah, I made a killing.
Can you disclose what it was you killed on?
Sure, the S&P 500.
Oh, yeah? Just that simple, huh?
Yeah, it was the day the market was down 200 points. I was in the right direction.
Yes.
And it was extraordinary luck. It suddenly dawned on me that my quotes were late, that it was a fast market, and so the prices that I was seeing on my screen bore no resemblance whatsoever to what was actually going on. And I knew that we were close to a very strong area of support, so I just picked up the phone and placed what I'd never do, a market order, to close out my position. I normally would pick a price. Mm-hmm. And it turns out I got within like 3 ticks of the best price of the day.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I do that. This is my hobby. I am a net loser. Okay.
Days like that are few and far between.
That day wiped out 8 years worth of losses overnight. I put that trade on at about noon on Thursday, and I closed it about 1:30 on Friday, and it wiped out in one day 8 years worth of losses. I've never known anything like it in my entire life.
Somebody might take that as an opportunity to step out, wiping out 8 years worth of losses.
Oh, hell no, it's my hobby. It's my hobby.
Right,
It genuinely
you don't
is.
keep track of losses on a hobby. It's an expense, right?
No, it really is my hobby. I like to go home and, I have a fortune tied up in this. It's the main reason I got into computers and the software and the books and I've spent far more money on the tools than I've lost in the markets. Far more money. But I find it relaxing. I find it stimulating. I find it challenging.
Relaxing?
Yeah, I lose myself in it. When I go home and open up Metastock and OptionView and all the other programs I have, and I sit there and I try to guess what the hell the thing's going to do tomorrow, I don't think about anything else.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider that relaxing. That would get my heart rate up.
Oh, well, if you're in a trade, sure, it can. But I've also, over the years, I've learned the discipline that I make my trade and I don't sit there and look at it anymore. That'll kill you.
That's the discipline of it, too.
It will kill you to sit there and look at the tick-by-tick action in the market because, it's always running one way or the other, and you're always sitting there second-guessing yourself if you look at it. You pick your direction, you pick your target, and you pick your stop where I'm not going to bleed anymore if I'm wrong, and you just walk away from it. And you come back tomorrow and see what happened.
Well, and another thing, and I wouldn't deem to pontificate to the master, but you and Neil had a good thing for a lot of years. Good buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You
may want
for
to
over 10
stretch out
years.
that hand, because if he's sick, he may not be around that much longer. It's something you might want to think about.
You don't understand, Youll Rogers.
Well, I don't pretend to. I listened to his show for a year, whatever it was on here in Tampa, and you and him had some killer shows when he sat in on yours or whatever that was. I enjoyed that, but I don't pretend to know the guy. I lived in Miami for a couple of years, and I didn't like the show when I lived down there, but I didn't think.
Really?
I wasn't into it. He's got a unique sense of humor.
Yes,
I think
he
you
does.
would say your sense of humor is a little off the beaten track. You appreciate sophisticated stuff, but you understand the other stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't play to the masses, I don't think.
Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he
So when I was in Miami, maybe I was a little too straight-laced and conservative to really enjoy his show. But I enjoyed it, a couple years later when I was up here, and he came on for that year. I enjoyed it then. But all I'm saying is, I lost somebody real close a year or so ago, and making those last few gestures that I made after a long pass made a difference for me. I'm not,
good.
like I said, I wouldn't pontificate, but there's only so much time,
Okay, dude.
Alrighty, bud.
Hey, you be good.
You too.
It is 20 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock. 990 WFLA in Hillsborough, Pinellas 461 WFLA. Literally anything goes. Let's go to Tim in St. Petersburg. Hi, Tim. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Mad Dog.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, bro, what's up?
Oh, not much, dude. Just kind of hanging around on a Friday night, trying to kill a little bit of time.
Well, a couple quick points. I'm going to touch on them all, and then you can rake me over the coals or whatever, bro.
Okay.
First off, I missed you. When you guys disappeared off the air, I was like, oh, man, what's up? Where's the Mad Dog going to go? I knew you just got this house. I'm hoping you were going to stay in town, and fortunately you did. So now I found you. Okay,
yeah, I'm just too damn old to move, man. That was really the depressing thing, is that we had this house that we loved.
Right.
And I didn't have any immediate financial problems. It could have lasted for quite some time, although it was obviously, every day that I didn't work was eating into my nest egg.
Right.
And I just didn't want to break in a new town.
Right, I understand. Okay, secondly, I know it's in the works. It's got to be in the works. You've got to move to an earlier time slot, dude.
No, my friend, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. We went to a great deal of time, trouble, and effort to lock them into this time slot. They can't move me.
Come on. When I found out about the change, I was like, no way.
No, I'm locked into this time slot by my doing.
Really?
Really.
I mean,
there are several reasons for that, some of which I won't go into on the air. But one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is I didn't want to come back here with anybody else on the staff thinking that I was just kind of hanging around from 7 to 10 until I could get a better quote-unquote time slot.
Right.
I have always told you folks that I much preferred working at night, and the only reason I didn't work at night is that it was not financially feasible, that there just wasn't any money anymore in talk radio at night.
Okay.
WFLA has changed that. So therefore, we locked these people. I mean, it states very clearly
Right.
In my contract. Obviously there are exceptions. The exceptions are very unpleasant.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to bend to what you've decided. I mean, look at it. It's 7:45 on a Friday, and I'm tuned in to AM radio. What's wrong with this picture? Come on now.
Well, you see, I do long-form talk radio, okay?
Right.
And it really works best at night because what are you doing? You are literally listening to the radio. That's what you're doing.
Right.
If I was on at 1:30 in the afternoon, you would be making sales calls, or you would be repairing, the machinery or whatever it is that you do for a living,
right,
and have the radio on.
But I would also have a whole bunch of individuals around me that would be turned on to you that didn't know. And I really seriously doubt the people I hang with are probably listening to you right now.
We'll get them.
Okay. Last but not least, hey, I just want to throw something out there. Like you were saying, I go to work, I'm working about 40, 42 hours a week. I'm an average Joe. I'm not in your bracket. I think it's really sad that this police brutality happened to these immigrants coming into the country. But I also think it's sad that somebody's just becoming a millionaire while I'm still the working stiff. I don't know, dude. I want to hear what other people got to say.
Okay.
All right, dude?
Hey, be good. Love it. 990-WFLA, 990-WFLA. That would be the telephone number in Hillsborough. In Pinellas, 461-WFLA, 461-WFLA. It's 7:44. So, like in keeping with the cutting edge of technology, we are now part of the information superhighway, and you can check us out at 970WFLA.com. They've got this really neat webpage, okay? And, you can access weather on it and news and, all kinds of other cool websites, ta-da. And there's also this section that, you can go to one of the pages and get information about the various different people that work here. And for almost everybody, they have pictures and bios and things like that. And they even have my name there. Showed up almost immediately. But I checked it out as late as this morning, and still there's nothing connected. I mean, you can sit there and click on my name, all your little heart desires, and all you do, well, I've got one of those weird programs with my mouth, so like when I double click, I get this little puff of smoke. And, that's all I get, is this little puff of smoke from double clicking on my name. It's not connected to anything. But, what the hell? You probably want to check it out and see how long it takes. If it's anything like the the Decoder Ring or the Bob Lassiter Fan Club, it won't be until the 12th of never. You know what I found out? I found out that even after I left here to go to Chicago, even after I came back and went to work for the Sisters Cox and promised to talk for them and all like that, Sue Freakus kept the picture of me hanging up in her office. And there's utterly no sign of darts in it or anything like that. I was really touched all these years. Well, there are two other people in the picture, Norman and Webb, but all these years I've been sitting there, looking down at Sue at her desk. I was touched by that. They could have put that picture in there and the Webb thing. 990-WFLA in Hillsborough. Anything goes. Pinellas 461-WFLA.